There is an unspoken language between attraction and vulnerability. A dance, a tension, a mystery. And at the center of that mystery lies not strength but softness, not dominance but desire. For too long we have looked at power through a masculine lens, measured in control, logic and certainty. But there's another power, one that emerges from contradiction held gracefully. That is where femininity lives. To understand a woman truly is not to conquer her. It is to recognize where she hides her deepest needs behind her fiercest independence. It is to see that her weaknesses are not flaws, but access points to intimacy. Let us speak truthfully. These are not weaknesses in the way the world defines them. They are openings. They are doors. They are moments when the armor slips and the soul peeks out. In turn, she craves emotional safety even when she pretends not to. She may have built a fortress of competence and independence. She may manage careers, children, expectations, but underneath that steel is a whisper. Can I be soft here? Can I be raw? Can I be enough without the performance? The moment she feels emotionally safe, her guard collapses, and in its place emerges her truest, most sensual self. 2. She yearns to be chosen fully and unapologetically. This is not about validation. It's about exclusivity, about someone seeing the chaos and poetry inside her and saying, I choose all of it. Her weakness is not that she needs attention, but that her heart has been taught to compete for what should have been freely given, to be chosen without needing to audition. This is her craving. 3. She feels deeply and often without words. Her body knows before her mouth does. Her nervous system speaks in silence, in sighs, in glances, in withheld smiles. And sometimes, she doesn't know how to translate the storm into a sentence. She isn't cold, she's overwhelmed. She isn't distant, she's protecting what hasn't yet found the language to be expressed. 4. She desires mystery, not just stability. Routine may comfort her, but mystery seduces her. She wants to feel alive, not just secure. Predictability without playfulness becomes emotional starvation. She is not weak for wanting to be surprised. She's human. The woman who feels seen and still mystified. She blooms. 5. She equates attention with affection. It's easy to dismiss her need for presence as being too much. But in her world, attention is intimacy. It is not the gift that's required, it is the gaze, the full-bodied presence, the awareness of her in the room. Her heart softens not when you offer her the world, but when you notice her in it. 6. She wants to be needed, not depended on. There is a difference between being needed and being drained, between contribution and burden. Her weakness emerges when her nurturing nature is mistaken for invincibility. She wants to offer support, not carry the entire weight. She wants to enhance, not rescue. 7. She hides her insecurities in perfectionism. The curated image, the poised response, the rehearsed laughter beneath them all, is a girl who wonders, am I enough as I am? She doesn't seek compliments, she seeks resonance. She wants to feel known in the cracks she's tried so hard to seal. 8. She battles between independence and surrender. Modern womanhood is a paradox. She was taught to not need anyone, and yet she aches to be able to let go. Not because she is incapable, but because she is tired of always having to be capable. Her weakness lies in this internal tug-of-war between proving her strength and longing to rest in someone else's. 9. She holds on longer than she should. Even when her mind says leave, her heart stays. She gives grace, she believes in potential. Her weakness is not naivety, it's hope. A hope that often costs her peace. But this is also the root of her loyalty, her depth, her stubborn compassion. 10. She needs playfulness to feel alive. Amid deadlines and responsibilities, her soul seeks play, not silliness but joy, lightness, the inside jokes, the teasing glance, the shared mischief. Her weakness isn't immaturity, it's the starvation of spontaneity in a world that demands her to always be composed. And so to truly understand the feminine is to stop analyzing her and start attuning to her. Her weaknesses are not cracks in her identity, they are signposts. Each one revealing where she wants to let go, where she wants to be met, where she wants to be felt. Because at the end of the day, every woman doesn't want to be fixed, she wants to be felt. Become fluent in the pauses, the sighs, the hesitations. Dare to enter her emotional landscape without a map. Meet her where she feels most human, not where she looks most polished. Don't just hear her words, listen to her silences. That is where her truth lives. And that is where connection begins. She walks into the room with confidence, maybe even a touch of fire in her eyes. She handles her life with precision, tasks, expectations, demands. But beneath that strength is a question she rarely says out loud: can I fall apart here? Can I let go without being judged? This is the heart of her, where power meets fragility, where independence secretly longs for sanctuary, and what she craves above all is emotional safety, not comfort in the predictable sense, but the kind of safety where she can reveal herself in layers, not just the ones polished for the world. In relationships, emotional safety is not a luxury for her. It is the gatekeeper of her intimacy. You see, she may thrive in independence, but her body opens only when she feels grounded emotionally. Not when she's convinced of love through words or grand gestures, but when she feels understood. Because for her, intimacy isn't just about physical proximity, it's about psychological closeness. She is wired to feel deeply. Her nervous system listens for tone, consistency, presence. Her heart doesn't respond to logic. It responds to resonance. She doesn't open because she's told she's safe. She opens because she feels safe. Because her expression won't be punished, because her past won't be weaponized, because when she finally lets the mask drop, she won't be met with confusion or withdrawal. The feminine thrives in response. It softens when it knows it won't have to defend itself for being too emotional, too intense, too much. She doesn't need you to fix her problems. She needs to feel like she's not alone in them. This kind of emotional safety is not just about being nice or available. It's about presence, real, embodied, attuned presence. It's knowing when she's gone quiet, she's not distant, she's processing. It's recognizing that behind her frustration might be unspoken disappointment. It's hearing what she's really saying, not just the words but the frequency beneath them. Because when she doesn't feel safe, she doesn't argue louder, she retreats, she silences herself. She nods while slowly disconnecting. And yet inside she's screaming, I just want to be seen without having to explain myself all the time. When she does feel emotionally safe, she transforms. Her sensuality returns. Her laughter becomes unfiltered. Her body leans in rather than pulls away. Emotional safety unlocks her erotic intelligence, not just the physical desire but the willingness to surrender. Not in submission but in trust. In truth, what may appear as a weakness, this hunger to feel safe emotionally, is actually the foundation of her power. Because the woman who feels emotionally held does not shrink. She expands. She doesn't need perfect, she needs consistency. She doesn't crave control, she craves connection. The more emotionally safe she feels, the more fearless her intimacy becomes. Her voice softens, her touch lingers. Her walls fall not because she's weak, but because she's finally home. She might act like she doesn't care, like the attention doesn't matter, like she's fine being one of many. But beneath all of that strength and poise is a silent ache, a craving to be chosen. Not liked, not tolerated, not appreciated in passing, but chosen in a way that feels absolute. In a world that constantly tells her she's too much or not enough, being chosen without having to earn it becomes one of her most sacred desires. It's not about being preferred, it's about being claimed. In the realm of intimacy, this need runs deeper than what most people see. It's not a weakness of ego, it's the echo of every time she's had to prove her worth just to be seen. Every time she had to tone herself down to be more palatable. Every moment she was kept as an option rather than a priority. Her desire to be chosen is a longing for full presence, for someone to look at her, not through a lens of convenience or comparison, but as if she is it, the one, the whole, the sacred. When a woman feels truly chosen, her energy shifts, her defenses begin to drop, not because she's dependent, but because she finally feels anchored. She no longer feels the need to constantly audition for someone's love, constantly hustle for someone's attention. She relaxes into the relationship. Her nervous system stops bracing for the next disappointment. Her body starts responding in trust, because in her world, being chosen is more than just attention. It is devotion. It is the consistency that tells her, I see you, I choose you, even when it's hard, even when I don't fully understand you. This is not about possession. It's about emotional clarity, about eliminating the ambiguity that so often infects modern love, the situationships, the delayed commitments, the endless swiping. All of it leaves her in a state of suspended intimacy where her body may be touched, but her soul is untouched. To be chosen is to feel like she's not just there to fill a space, but that she is the space someone has been searching for. Her weakness, if you want to call it that, is the way her heart still believes in being someone's once in a lifetime. Despite the disappointments, despite the betrayals, she still holds on to the hope that someone will see all of her, her chaos, her kindness, her contradictions, and say, I want all of that. Not just the parts that are easy to love. And when she does feel chosen, when that unshakable clarity is given to her, She no longer operates from insecurity. She no longer questions her place. She thrives. She glows differently. She gives more, not because she has to, but because her love has been unchained from doubt. She no longer has to wonder if she's enough because the decision has already been made. She is the one. Let me know if you'd like this turned into a YouTube intro voiceover, IG caption breakdown, or a motivational short script. She may say everything is fine, but her body will tell you a different story. Her silence holds more than her words ever could. She doesn't always speak the language of logic or confrontation. Instead, she speaks in energy, in glances, in emotional vibrations that most people overlook. She's learned to read rooms before she walks into them, to detect the slightest shift in tone or tension. And because she feels so deeply, she often assumes that others can do the same, but this becomes her hidden vulnerability, expecting someone to sense her pain without her having to spell it out. In relationships, this emotional frequency is her compass. She'll feel the disconnect before it's spoken. She'll notice the emotional withdrawal even when everything on the surface looks good. She can feel you slipping emotionally even when your actions appear consistent. It's not paranoia, it's perception. And when the emotional atmosphere shifts even slightly, her body responds, her shoulders tighten, her laughter fades, her eyes dim. But she may not say anything at all, because sometimes she doesn't even understand it herself. She just knows that something feels off. This depth of feeling is both her power and her fragility. It allows her to sense what others miss, but it also means she carries emotions in layers. Some she hasn't even had time to process. When intimacy is real, when the connection is present, she relaxes. Her body opens. Her breath becomes deeper. She no longer feels the need to protect herself through withdrawal or pretense. But when she doesn't feel understood, when her emotional language is met with dismissal or avoidance, she turns inward, not to punish but to protect. This is where misunderstanding so often enters. She's not distant because she doesn't care, she's quiet because she's overwhelmed. She's not ignoring the relationship, she's trying to hold it together while making sense of what her body is already reacting to. She doesn't need solutions, she needs sensitivity, she needs someone who sees beyond the words and into the emotional current underneath. When she feels emotionally attuned to, everything shifts. You don't need to ask her to talk, she will. You don't need to demand clarity, she'll offer it. Because once she feels that her emotional world is safe to exist in your presence, the gates open. Her love language isn't just touch or time, it's emotional presence. It's the subtle ways you lean in when she pulls away, the way you respond to her energy without demanding that she always translate it into words. Her emotional intuition is not weakness, it's a form of intelligence the world often neglects. It's how she connects, how she protects herself, and how she loves. But when you begin to notice what others overlook, her pause before she speaks, her sudden silence in the middle of joy, her eyes that flicker with a story she hasn't told, you unlock a level of intimacy that no physical closeness can replicate. She may crave stability, but she is not built to be confined by routine. Predictability soothes her mind, but it starves her soul. There is a side of her that aches for more than safety, it aches for aliveness, for that pulse-racing, breath-catching sense of possibility. She wants to be held securely, yes, but she also wants to be seen freshly, continuously, unpredictably. Because once love becomes mechanical, once affection becomes scheduled, something within her begins to go quiet. She begins to feel invisible in the very place where she once felt most known. It's a common mistake to believe that women only want to feel safe. What's often missed is their need for novelty within that safety. She doesn't need chaos, but she does need mystery. She wants to feel like there is still something about the connection that's alive, growing, becoming. When everything is too familiar, too easy to predict, the energy of the relationship flattens. And when that happens, her desire doesn't disappear, it simply finds no place to land. In the space of true intimacy, mystery is not about secrets, it's about depth, it's about having enough space between two people that curiosity can still exist, that question marks remain even in committed love. It's the way she watches you when you're unaware, the way she hopes you'll surprise her with your presence, not with gifts but with attention. She wants spontaneity, not to escape the relationship but to feel chosen again in new ways. To know that she's still worth exploring, not just loving. What most don't understand is that her sensuality is deeply tied to this element of unpredictability. It's the flirtatious glance across the dinner table, the hand on her lower back that reminds her she's still wanted, the unexpected moment of intimacy that breaks through the monotony of life. That's where her erotic energy lives, not in elaborate gestures but in the moments that feel like rediscovery. Because when everything becomes routine, when conversations are recycled and touch becomes habitual, she starts to feel more like a role than a person, more like a partner than a lover. She's not asking for endless novelty. She's asking for engagement, for intrigue, for the playful tension of the unknown that keeps her heart awake. The woman who feels both secure and mystified, she doesn't just stay, she flourishes. Her energy becomes magnetic. Her desire becomes bold. She leans into the relationship with full expression because she knows it isn't stagnant, it's still evolving. To love her fully is to understand that intimacy without mystery is like a fire without air. You can build the coziest home, provide all the consistency in the world, but if there's no surprise, no spark, no curiosity left, she will begin to emotionally wander. Not because she wants someone else, but because she wants something more. The woman who is both emotionally safe and erotically curious becomes untamable in the most beautiful way. She doesn't always ask for much, not in the traditional sense, but what she does long for, what truly matters to her, is often invisible to those who only listen to words and overlook presence. Her desire is deceptively simple, to be noticed, not with dramatic fanfare or exaggerated praise, but with real, focused attention. In her world, attention equals affection. It tells her she matters, not because she demands space, but because someone chooses to offer it, consistently, voluntarily, without needing a reason. She may not say it outright, but her heart is constantly scanning for presence. It's watching for the moments when someone remembers what she wore, notices the tone of her silence, or picks up on the shift in her rhythm. It's not the grand romantic gestures that move her most deeply. It's the look across the room that says, "I see you." The quiet check-in that says, "I'm here," even when you're not asking. That is where intimacy begins for her. In the subtle, in the unspoken, in the art of attention. When she feels overlooked, when her energy is taken for granted, something inside her contracts. She won't always complain, sometimes she'll even pretend it's fine. But slowly she withdraws, emotionally, energetically, not out of spite but out of quiet disappointment. It's not the absence of love that hurts her, it's the absence of awareness, the kind of awareness that makes her feel real, important, alive in the presence of another. In intimacy, her weakness isn't neediness, it's emotional sensitivity to disconnect. When the energy is off, when the eye contact is missing, when the conversation is rushed or half-hearted, she feels it in her body. She may try to justify it, try to stay logical, try to brush it off, but her body always knows. And the more that absence is normalized, the more she starts to believe she's the one who's asking for too much. But the truth is she's just starving for what the world often forgets to give: undivided attention. And yet, when she is truly seen, not just visually but emotionally, energetically, she transforms, she comes alive. Her laughter flows freely, her sensuality radiates without force, her body softens, her mind settles. Because now she doesn't have to fight for a place in someone's awareness. She's not just background to someone else's life, she is the moment. And from that space she gives generously, lovingly, passionately, not because she's trying to earn affection, but because she feels safe enough to express it. To love her well is to understand that presence is a form of foreplay, that noticing her when she least expects it builds a bridge of trust, that when you pay attention to the small things, how she ties her hair, the way her voice shifts when she's tired, the way she curls up when she's thinking, you're telling her, you matter here, you are not invisible. For her, that's not just romantic, it's spiritual.